thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here to do a review that I was supposed to do such a long time ago, which is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, the stay in place makeup that everybody has been raving about. I swear I have not come across one bad review of this forever. And my friend here on YouTube, Nume, I've been watching her videos for so long and I know her, and she loves this so much. And my friend Arsha, who you guys know here on YouTube as well, loves this so much. She said this to me, and that was back in April, and I for some reason kept getting the wrong shade. Like the one that she sent me was a little bit too light, so I went back, got a couple of different shades, and they didn't work out. So I was kind of losing hope, but a lot of you guys commented and told me which color to get, which was 4N2 Spice Sand. So if you guys are watching my video right now, thank you so much for recommending this, because this has absolutely been the perfect color for me. So I wanted to do a quick review and demo. The demo is later on in this video to see how I apply this and how I get full coverage the way that I do right now. Just a quick review. This foundation is absolutely amazing for people with oily skin. It lasts forever. For me, I can wear it for a good 10 to 12 hours and it looks good. I start to get a little bit of shine at the 7-hour mark, which is still amazing because my skin is pretty oily. I do use the MAC SPF 50 face primer though, because without that, nothing works. Without that, I can get away with about 5 to 6 hours of this with it looking good. After that, it's not, you know, great anymore. So with these two together, I just, you know, I think the combination is really great. What I find really interesting about this is that people used to comment saying that this foundation is so thick and it just feels like so much makeup. I was so surprised though, because you'll see in the video that it's such a runny foundation. It feels very lightweight. So when the very first time I took it out in my hand and I was looking at it, it is so much thinner in consistency to my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus that I've been using for years, that you guys know about. It's much thinner than the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, much thinner than, you know, cream foundation. So I wasn't sure why people were saying that, because it is a very thin looking foundation, but it really does pack a punch. So when you put it on, it almost feels like there's nothing going on your skin if you get the right color match, which I finally have gotten. So when I finally got this, the mistake that I would make is that I would apply this with my brush and I would keep adding more, thinking that like nothing's going on, I can't really see it. So great color match, but it also didn't feel like anything on my skin. And if you just keep adding layer upon layer, it will look so cakey. And I realized that after I got the first layer on, and it's set, it just looked phenomenal. So basically, even if you're not seeing it really make a drastic difference immediately, I noticed that once it sets and it looks sort of matte and a little bit more powdery, that's when you get your full, like, okay, this is what the foundation looks like. So don't make that mistake of just packing on more because you feel like you're not really getting anything out of this, because I definitely made that mistake and it did not work out for me. So I use this with my Sigma F80 brush usually, just because I have been using a colored corrector around my chin area, because that does get pretty gray. With most foundations, you guys got me back into it, so thank you. Because of that method, I find that using this brush is the best. You can stipple it on without moving the product underneath, which is the colored corrector around, so that's why I use this. I have used it with my beauty blender too. This is going to give you a little bit of a lighter coverage. It's going to give you a little bit of dewiness, which is also great. So it just depends on how you like to use it. Today in this video I have used this, so if you guys like what it looks like on me right now, I got this look and finish with this right here. This is $38, I believe. It might be $36. I'll go ahead and write that here in case that is incorrect. And the shade range for this is absolutely phenomenal. They have, I mean, a color for everybody. If you are neutral like me, it's a little bit different because they only have, I think, 3 neutral shades altogether. So this is 4N2, and I believe they have 4N3 as well. So those are the 3 neutral shades. So neutral colored foundations in general are pretty difficult to find. But when I tried on a warm tone, meaning like a more yellow toned, it just, more yellow toned color, it just did not work out for me. It looked a lot darker because it just was more yellow. So for me, neutral shades really do matter. If you are warm or cool, you will find a ton to match you, so that should not be a problem at all. So overall, I'm absolutely obsessed with this foundation. It lasts all day and night. What I really found impressive about this is that the first time I wore this out was, I had a blogger event to go to, and I wore this white romper, which you guys might have seen in my blog post. I will link that blog post down below in case you guys haven't seen it. and it was at least 110 degrees, and I was having my friend take pictures of me for an outfit post for you guys, and we were literally melting under the sun. It felt awful, and this foundation stayed on like nobody's business. It literally looked perfect from start to finish. I was sweating, yes, but it wasn't moving around. It didn't start to break around my mouth and nose, which usually will happen in such a, you know, hot and humid climate. And I mean, that to me was just amazing. I know people say it doesn't photograph great, but to me it has been photographing pretty well. However, I don't use a ton of flash photography, so that might be the reason for why I think it is photographing pretty well. So overall, this is what it looks like. I'm just obsessed with it, and if you guys want to see how I got my makeup on, just the foundation though, then please keep watching. I'm gonna go ahead and shake this up. As you guys can see, I'm just gonna take some out. I have a lot in here, so I'm not gonna take out a ton, even though I just kind of did. Okay, so if you want a thicker coverage, you can definitely use a brush. If you want a somewhat more dewy and natural looking appearance and not as thick coverage, you can use a beauty blender. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do though is that I'm going to use a colored corrector. This is actually a cream color blush from Ben Nye, but anything that is orangish or pinkish to cover up discoloration that I have around my chin. And I'm just going to pick up a very light amount. If you guys can see, this is really pigmented, but I'm not picking up a ton because then it'll just be really, really hard to cover with the foundation. So I'm just picking up a little bit, and I'm putting this onto my entire chin area because that is where I am extremely discolored and a lot darker. And I'm also going all the way up here, like where my nose is, just because it ends up being this area that's almost like a triangle that is just a lot darker for me. Okay, so we've got that, and now for the sake of showing you what the foundation actually looks like for every normal person, I'm going to go ahead and use a brush just because I feel like most people would use this over a beauty blender. So that is what I have on my hand. It just looks like a lot. It's because I went ahead and accidentally took out a lot. And I just stippled my brush in, and I'm stippling it onto my face just to get everything off my brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it in. What I noticed about this is that it really blends in immediately and dries immediately. But what's interesting is that it's so thin feeling. It doesn't feel like you have a ton of makeup on at all. So originally when I would use this in the beginning, I would always feel like, am I putting anything on? Like, it doesn't look like a whole lot of makeup, and I thought it was supposed to be like really thick. But in the second it dries, and after you give it a few minutes, you'll notice like what a huge difference it makes. I like to be extra careful around my nose because I have so many pores there that I just want to make sure it's actually like getting in and not like accentuating them. Then for my chin area, I definitely like to stipple as opposed to rub because I don't want the orange to start going all over my face. So I'm stippling, and I'm definitely using a little bit more foundation in this area than I have on the rest of my face. And then make sure you blend it down here. But if you guys can tell, everything has been covered and my face doesn't look quite so gray in this area normally, as it normally does, I mean. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my forehead. On my forehead, for some reason, I don't like to wear a ton of foundation because I just feel like the skin on my forehead is pretty good to begin with, and it doesn't really have many blemishes or anything. But somehow my makeup looks the best when I don't like overdo it in this area. Okay, so for you guys to see, this is what the foundation looks like when it is on. And this is just one layer. Let me go ahead and zoom you guys in even more so you guys can really get a good idea. So this is no concealer, it's just the foundation. It's covered really well, it's dried to a matte finish. There's really no shine anywhere on my skin. All of my blemishes for the most part have been covered. I just have this one that's a little bit darker, so that's been a little bit difficult to cover up. but it's given me such a good, flawless skin look, and it doesn't feel like a lot of foundation. It doesn't look like a lot of foundation to me either. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my concealer to the rest of my face and come back so you guys can see what it looks like. This is what the full face looks like after the foundation is on. I think this is one of the best foundations to match my skin tone without making me look gray. It's such great coverage and it really lasts all day. So I just got done working out and I wanted to show you how the foundation looks. It still looks so good and so natural, and you literally cannot see my sweat because I have been working. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like even after wearing it. They're working out. I normally don't wear this much makeup to the gym or any makeup, but it's just that I filmed my video earlier today and I didn't have time to take it off before I came to the gym. So I wanted to show you guys. So let me go ahead and zoom you guys in also so you guys can see a little bit more. So, ooh. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment down below and give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.